Hello everybody, today you are going to learn how to create your own sprite. Okay, so I have got here a few files, and as you can see they are representing what? Some kind of social media icons. And they are mostly next to each other, they have got some kind of separated things between them or something like that, but they are all images that could be connected. But they have to be separated on the website because normally you have to click them and get to for example, RSS, to the Google account, to the Facebook account or something like that, right? To the blog. It's the link. So you need a special button for it or something like that, right? So you can just connect them and show on the website, but it would be pretty good idea to connect them because it will decrease the request to your server. But you have to then do it by using Sprite. And that's why we are going to use Compass, because it will be pretty fast to do something like that. Okay, so how to do it? Well, let's create a folder, a new folder that will present our images. And I will call it as images. Why? Because only this folder will work if we do not change something in the configuration file. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so I click finish and then I will click a new folder and I will create a social folder here. It will just be a place for all the things that I want to change into the sprite. Okay, so I'm just taking all these images, but the last one, you see soon why. And okay, so we have all images there, and now let's create a sprite. I told you that, hey, it's so easy that you are just creating one line of code and then you have got a sprite. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Let's do it. Let's type import and then we type the name of the folder that we created here. Okay, so social, and then we use the asterisk in order to say like, hey, import everything from this folder that has extension PNG. And it is also really important that in Compass you can use only PNG files if you want to create a sprite, which has been already created. Wow, great, isn't it? We just created a sprite, and hey, I want to add another image to our social buttons because something is more popular now. So I do not need to open Photoshop and edit it here or something like that. I'm just adding another social button here, and well, I have to refresh it, so I have to change something and just save, right? So well, I have to change something exactly. Bam. And as you can see, we have got a new sprite. This is pretty awesome, pretty fast, isn't it? And well, it doesn't end here. That cool thing doesn't end here. We have got a sprite, but normally we have to go to the CSS. Well, we have got here, as you can see, background image and the background repeat, which is helpful. But we'll have to now use the background position pretty exactly where we'll have to specify where these things are. So we'll have to measure all these things, scan, and other things like that, which is also taking lots of time. And look at this. Include all, the name of the folder, sprites. Bam. Wow. It created for us all classes with the background position. Okay, so how to use this cool thing? Oh, let's create a div. Let's call div class here. And this class is called social, Facebook, like that. Okay. And is it working? It's not working. Why? It is not working because of two things. It's not working because here we have a bad, as you can see, URL. Why it's bad? Because in the configuration we have got now set by default the absolute paths, and you can't go from here to here by typing something like that. You will need to be in this place. So we will need to do it relative way. In order to do it relative way, we have to type in the configuration file something like relative assets and set it to true. This is really, really important. Because of it, now let's save it again. As you can see, now we are like coming back to this place and then going to this place, and taking this. Oh well, sorry, to this place and taking this. We do not need to go into the single files, right? So we are in this place now. Okay, and it's not working still because it doesn't have size. When I do something like this, as you can see now, it's showing something, but it doesn't have size. So do I need to create size every time? You know, sometimes it's cool when you can exactly say how much you want to get from the sprite, but it's a rare situation. If you want to just include the width and height, you just type here true. You're sending the argument to the mixin because this is a mixin, and as you can see, you have got exactly width and height. And now when I play, as you can see, we have got the Facebook here. Pretty awesome, isn't it? I really like this stuff. And well, sometimes you might want to get only, for example, one guy. For example, let's take Facebook. Let's create a special style just for Facebook. And I want to include, and then I type the name of the folder, then I type sprite, and then I type name of the image. In our situation, is the Facebook, and because of it, when we go here, as you can see, we imported it the same way as it's here. But we don't have now dimension. We can do something like that we are sending like through here, and we can see it here. We can do it also different way. We don't need to say through here. We can, for example, do something like include social sprite dimensions, and we say that only for Facebook. And also it will work. So you can do it that way, or you can do it that way, right? But also you can do something like, hey, I don't want to type every time something like that and type through here. You can change the global variable before this importing. You can do something like social sprite dimensions and set it to true. And because of it, now every default value will be changed to true, and you don't need to type something like that. As you can see, we have got the dimensions here, but you need to remember that sometimes you might not want this dimension, and well, you can change it pretty easy. Well, for example, I don't want it here. I want false here, and now as you can see, here is true, right? But here there is no dimension because we set it to false, so it's working fine. Now we can set, for example, hey, I won't just set it here 64 pixels high, 64 pixels, because all of them are the same, so I don't want to lose CSS here, right? It's taking just lots of place to repeat something like that, right? It's not a good idea. But, you know, this is more universal when this is generating it for us, because maybe someday you're gonna want to use different image which is different size, and then everything will just collapse. So I think when you're setting it to true, it's probably the best thing you can do. Just set everything to true, then you don't need to type it later. There is also one thing that you need to take in mind. Notice that this folder is called images, and well, the default value for the folder with the images is called images. But you know, this thing is most time called different. Some people call it picture, some people call this images, like that. You can have it in your own language, like for example, like in my language. So it can be called different way, and you will need to change everything in your project then. And so let's assume that you have something like that, and because of it, when you do something like that, notice that now when we do something like that, we have got an error because it says, hey, I need here another folder, like that. And we can change it pretty easy using the configuration file, using something like images directory equals img, and then you're refreshing. As you can see, now everything works fine. Okay, that's only the lesson. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's the basics of the sprite. In the next lesson, we'll talk about advanced things in Sprite. Thank you very much.